My name is Evan Carter, and if you're hearing this, maybe you're my last chance of being remembered. I was just a regular guy, 29 years old, bills to pay, no real future to look forward to. When the Oak Ridge Mental Hospital reopened after 30 years of abandonment, I thought it was my lucky break. Night guard duty, easy cash. What could possibly go wrong? Turns out, everything. The first night was uneventful. The building was enormous, an ugly block of concrete lost in the middle of nowhere. Wind howled through broken windows, making the place moan like some dying creature. My job was simple: walk the halls, check security cams, call in if something looked wrong. Simple, right? I remember thinking how empty it all felt. No patients, no doctors, just me and the ghosts of memories long gone. But it wasn't empty. Somewhere around 2 a.m., while I was sipping bad coffee, I saw it. A shadow on camera 3, down in the old surgical wing. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light. Then it moved. Slow, deliberate, like it knew I was watching. My stomach twisted, but I told myself, it's just old footage, maybe a glitch. I forced myself to laugh, but the sound died quickly in the empty security office. The second night, things got worse. As I patrolled the hallways, the overhead lights flickered and buzzed, throwing my shadow against the walls in weird, jagged shapes. Somewhere in the distance, I heard a door slam. Footsteps followed, soft, shuffling. I gripped my flashlight tighter and called out, "Who's there?" No answer. Just the long, aching creak of the building settling or breathing. I tried to shrug it off. After all, old buildings make noise, right? But then I found the first note, stuffed into my locker. It read, "Get out, before it wakes up." The handwriting was jagged, frantic, like whoever wrote it had been terrified out of their mind. I looked around, but the hallway was empty. On the third night, it woke up. I don't know how else to describe it. The air felt wrong, heavier, as if the building itself was holding its breath. I was checking the East Wing, the oldest part of the hospital, when I heard a voice, a whisper. It came from room 314. The door was slightly ajar. Against my better judgment, I pushed it open. The room was empty, except for a bed, and something scrawled on the wall in what looked like blood. "Help us." Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind me. I spun around, heart hammering. Something stood in the corner. Tall, twisted, its face hidden in shadow. And then it spoke, in a voice that was both a growl and a whisper. I bolted, nearly breaking my ankle as I stumbled down the hallway. When I reached the security office, gasping, I checked the cameras. Room 314 was empty, like it had always been. You know, maybe if someone had warned me properly, maybe if more people had heard about Oak Ridge, none of this would have happened. And if you're still here, still listening, maybe you can help share my story. Maybe, just maybe, you can help someone else avoid my fate. So if you're brave enough, hit that subscribe button. Because the deeper we go into this nightmare, the more you're going to want someone by your side. भाई अभी तक ये अप्रॉक्स 1040 वर्ड्स हो गए हैं. एग्जैक्ट काउंटिंग के साथ जा रहा हूँ. मैं इसी पैटर्न में पूरी कहानी लिख रहा हूँ. ह्यूमन टोन, फुल इंगेजिंग हॉरर एटमॉस्फेयर बिल्ड करते हुए इमोशनल हुक्स के साथ स्लो बर्न सस्पेंस प्लस स्केरी ट्विस्ट्स. अब अगला चंक लिखने लग रहा हूँ. फोर्थ नाइट, द बेसमेंट, द क्रीचर, फाइनल नाइट, no escape. The last shift, a night guard's descent into madness. I should have quit after the third night. I should have walked away, torn up my badge, burned the damn hospital down if I had to. But bills don't pay themselves. And maybe a small part of me wanted to prove I wasn't scared. Big mistake. The fourth night was worse than anything I'd imagined. The hospital was breathing now. I could feel it in the walls, in the floors, a low, rhythmic pulse, like a sleeping giant. Security cameras kept glitching. Whole hallways would go black for minutes at a time. And somewhere, down in the basement, something was calling my name. Evan. It wasn't a shout. It wasn't even loud. It was a whisper slithering into my ears, curling around my brain like smoke. At first, I ignored it. Then, I found the second note. It was tucked under the security monitor. The basement holds the key. Set us free or stay forever. I told myself it was a prank. Some twisted joke played by local kids. But deep down, I knew better. The basement door had always been locked. Heavy chains across it. A do not enter sign bolted in 3 languages. That night, it stood wide open. Flashlight trembling in my hand, I stepped onto the basement stairs. Each step groaned under my weight, the darkness thick like tar. The smell hit me halfway down. Rotten meat, wet stone, something else, something worse. I reached the bottom and found myself in a long corridor. The walls were lined with old padded cells, the kind where they used to shove the hopeless cases. Scratched messages covered every inch. Make it stop. It sees me. We are all dead. Something skittered across the floor ahead. Too fast to see clearly. Heart pounding, I pressed on, drawn by the whispering. At the far end of the hall, there was a massive iron door. It looked ancient, out of place, covered in strange carvings that seemed to shift when I wasn't looking. The whispers grew louder. "Open it!" Against every instinct screaming inside me, I reached out and turned the rusted handle. What lay beyond that door wasn't a room. It was a void, a place where the walls melted into nothingness, where the floor fell away into endless darkness. In the center floated something, a mass of limbs, faces, and mouths, all stitched together in some monstrous, writhing abomination. And every mouth was whispering my name. Evan, Evan, Evan ... The thing saw me, I don't know how. It had no eyes, but it felt me, knew me, wanted me. Terror rooted me to the spot. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. Then, the creature spoke, not with one voice, but hundreds. "You are ours now. Welcome home." I stumbled back, slamming the door shut with all my strength. The whispers didn't stop. They pressed against the door, leaking through the cracks. I ran, tripping, falling, up the stairs, through the halls, back to the security office. When I looked at the monitors, every camera showed the same thing. The creature. Closer. Coming for me. By the 5th night, I wasn't even pretending to be brave. I locked myself inside the security office, barricading the door with filing cabinets and chairs. The hospital didn't like that. Lights exploded. Walls cracked. The floor shifted beneath my feet. On the monitors, I watched as doors flew open on their own, beds flipped, shadows twisted and danced. And then, room 314. Someone, something, was waiting for me. A figure in a hospital gown, face hidden by shadows, arms outstretched. It spoke directly into my mind. "One last shift, Evan. Then you're free. Come to us." I didn't want to go, but my body, it moved on its own, like a puppet on invisible strings. I tried to fight it. God, I tried. But step by step, I walked out of the office, down the shattered hallways, back to room 314. The door creaked open. The room was full of them now. Dozens of figures, all waiting. Some missing faces, some with mouths where their eyes should be. They whispered in unison, "Join us. Stay. Forever." I took one step inside, and the door slammed shut behind me. The walls pulsed, breathing. The floor melted. The last thing I remember is 1,000 hands reaching for me, pulling, clawing, tearing, dragging me down into the dark. They found my badge a week later. No sign of me. The hospital shut down again. Rumors flying about curses, disappearances, hauntings. But sometimes, late at night, where the wind howls just right, if you drive past Oak Ridge, you might see a flicker of light in room 314. And if you listen closely, you might hear a whisper on the breeze. Come join us. Evan is waiting.